And WENY Political Analyst Dr. Jim Twombly joining us today to break down that verdict in the civil trial against former President Donald Trump. Jim, earlier this afternoon, the jury, after deliberating, they just got the case today, came back with a verdict of that Trump is being held liable for battery from sexual assault and defamation regarding the 1996 sexual assault of author E. Jean Carroll. Break down this verdict for us and the jury's process here today.
Well, it is kind of amazing that it took them only about 2.5 hours. You would have thought with all of the information they had to sift through, it might have taken them a couple of days, but they got to a consensus fairly quickly. With looking at $3 million for defamation, $2 million for the battery. This is the first time any former president has ever been found liable in such a case. So it's historic, whether you like the decision or not. This is history in the making today.
And one thing that they did not find him liable was the rape allegation, but they did, because I guess they couldn't come to a unanimous consensus of the 9-panel jury.
Right, it had to be a unanimous decision. So I'm guessing the dynamic that went on there is that there wasn't enough evidence to convince all 9 of the rape, but they could agree on a lesser sexual assault charge.
Okay, and now as far as this case is concerned, it doesn't necessarily end here. There can be an appeals process, so what can happen next?
Well, Trump has already said he plans on appealing it. It's questionable whether or not his attorney will continue on in this case, but it would go to the circuit, the Second Circuit, I believe it is, for appeal. I don't know that there's any constitutional issue here that could be claimed that would bring it up to the level of the Supreme Court. Because it is, after all, a civil proceeding and not a criminal one.
Okay, and now Trump is running for president for 2024. Now with this on his record, so to speak, does this prevent him from continuing on in his campaign? Is it going to hurt him in his campaign? What does that look like for him politically?
Let's get in the Wayback Machine and go back 30, 35 years. This would be death to a political candidate, but it's not. Normally this would be a disqualifying event, but what is likely to happen here is it's likely to energize his base and probably give him a great deal of impetus for fundraising.
And now I want to go back to the jury really quickly, because you and I were talking about something earlier regarding if the jury's identities might be made public or not.
Right. The judge had kept the identity of the jurors private, didn't make it public, but the judge today told the jurors they could voluntarily identify themselves to the media. He did suggest to them that they might not want to do that, and he directed them not to identify the other jurors to keep them safe.
Okay. Well, Jim, we'll continue to follow this and see what, if any, impact it may have and what appeals may be to come.
Indeed we will.
All right. Thank you.